Well, and,
he says.
And it's credible, too. I mean, it really seems here like what we have is this fiction that's created that is meant to indict the North Koreans, the Syrians, and the Iranians all together. And you explained in your most recent article, or maybe it was 2 articles ago, that if you want to make a small plutonium bomb that's small enough to deliver on a missile, you have to miniaturize it, and you need all this other technology in order to be able to miniaturize a plutonium bomb. You've explained to me before a plutonium bomb is a much more complicated affair than a simple gun-type uranium bomb like Hiroshima and that kind of thing, which would be what would seem to be what they were going for if they even had a nuclear weapons program. That's what all the hue and cry about the uranium enrichment is. But you explained in your last article that, wait a minute, it doesn't even make sense on its face that the North Koreans and the Syrians would be working to create this plutonium thing for the Iranians when they have no such capability to miniaturize this weapon with all these other ingredients and other technology and so forth. This whole thing just sounds like a bunch of smoke, a lot of smoke being blown at the axis of evil countries here, and that, you know, basically it's all ringing hollow. Is that not about right?
Yeah, that's pretty good. I would say that this word miniaturization is unfortunate, the people who've used that.
All right, help me out.
Okay. I point everybody to Chapter 2 of the Cox Committee report of 1999, where a whole bunch of stuff got dumped, and it was approved by the Clinton administration and by the Clinton administration Department of Energy. So that's what I do is I say, okay, here's the official stuff, all right? Now, as I say, or you say, it's true. I was in the nuclear weapons business for almost 20 years, and most of the things that I know about that are probably not secret anymore, but I'm not allowed to go around telling you whether this is true or not true or anything else like that.
Well, right, but this was the Congressional Committee. Scooter Libby and Chris Cox wrote this thing up.
Yeah, but they had a classified version, and then they ran it past the Clinton administration in late 1998, and the version that eventually got produced says, okay, this is fine. You know, you can go ahead and say all this. And what that says in there, official U.S. government document, as official as it could be, you know, congressionally written and vetted by the Department of Energy, is that in order to make a warhead small enough to be missile delivered by most missiles, it needs to be what they call boosted. That is, you need to make a pit of plutonium. I guess you could make one out of uranium, but it would be a lot bigger. But anyway, you make a pit of plutonium, and then you inject into that pit tritium or in some form. And then you set off the device, you know. You implode it, and then the boosting, it's complicated nuclear physics, but nevertheless, the result is you get really substantial increases in the yield of the device, and therefore you don't need nearly as much material, and it's much smaller and all that sort of thing. Okay. Now, David Albright, in his recent report on the so-called Tenor documents, the things that were supposedly found on the computers of a guy named U.R.S. Tanner, who was being prosecuted for being a principal in the so-called AQ-Con nuclear smuggling ring, had a digitized blueprint for such a device. He doesn't tell us that it's plutonium. He doesn't tell us that it's boosted. And maybe he doesn't know it has to be. Maybe Albright doesn't know that much about nuclear weapons. I don't know. But if not, he ought to go read Chapter 2 of the Cox Committee report. Maybe he'll learn something. But in any case, what that means is that when Iran or North Korea or Iraq or whoever, back in 2002, were alleged to have uranium enrichment capabilities or having nuclear weapons programs that were based upon uranium enrichment, that's all it took. Because if you can enrich uranium to 90% U-235 plus, and you can manage to accumulate 120 pounds or so of it, that's a lot. 120 pounds of almost pure 235, then you can make a gun weapon. And almost anybody can do that. I mean, it doesn't take much technology. You just keep the two pieces apart, and then you bang them together just as fast as you can. That's what they call it, the reason they call it a gun weapon. And let nature take its course, as it were. But the minute you start talking about plutonium, then you've got a whole new ball game. And now we know that thanks to George Bush, North Korea now has the capability to make a plutonium nuclear weapon and has the material. But they could modify the reactor to make tritium, but I don't. There's no evidence that they have. And in order to make a deliverable nuclear weapon, that's what they'd have to do. And so would the Syrians, and so would the Iranians. Even if they had the plutonium, they still couldn't make a deliverable nuclear weapon, by missile at any rate, unless they also had this other capability.
Mm-hmm. Well, and, all the accusations against Iran this whole time have been about uranium enrichment, whether the accusation was that they have a secret nuclear weapons program that hasn't been discovered yet, or sometimes they just turn the dial a little bit and the accusation is that the current nuclear program that they have, which is monitored, safeguarded by the International Atomic Energy Agency, which is only enriching uranium to a measly 3.6%, not above 90% purity like you would need for an atomic weapon, as you've explained. It's always been centered around uranium because I don't think, Gordon, that they were going to try to buffalo us before with the idea that the Iranians now have a plutonium nuclear weapons program, because they have absolutely nothing to indicate that. Other than these documents on this guy who was on the CIA payroll's laptop computer or something?
Yeah, and even if they did get the plutonium to make an implosion device, can't make a gun weapon with plutonium. Even if they did get the plutonium, the device they would be able to make, the North Koreans have made, and the Iranians might be able to make, or Syrians, or the Tahitians, or somebody, it wouldn't be deliverable by ballistic missile. It would be pretty much like the Fat Man. That's the one we dropped on Nagasaki. And that thing weighed, I've forgotten now, is it 10 tons?
Oh, you tell me, but I know they called it the Fat Man. The other one was Little Boy, and they called it the Fat Man because it was a hell of a lot bigger and more complicated device. You've explained to me before you have to have this perfect firing mechanism where all these, I don't know how many dozens and dozens of charges must go off in absolute perfect timing to the millisecond.
That's
and all these things.
That's the implosion device. And I guess it's 10,000 pounds is what they made, is what they both, each of them weighed. The reason the gun weapon weighs so much is because once you bang these two pieces together, you got to keep it together as long as you can to allow the multiple fissions to occur. Mm-hmm. And that's typically done by surrounding it with something like really heavy, inertially heavy, like uranium-238 or something like that. But again, the point is that it looks like that the administration or somebody in the administration, the Cheney cabal or somebody like that, has got these two or three, what would you call them, scenarios or plays or projects, I don't know.
Yeah, scripts, narratives. I call them narratives they're trying to sell us.
In any case, they are all interconnected, the Syrian and the North Korean and Pakistan and India and just about everybody except Tahiti. And the wheels are coming off all over the place. There's a frantic effort in the administration to try to put some of the demons back in Pandora's box that they let out. I'm not laughing about this. It's really something, because when you've done such terrible things in the name of protecting soccer moms from getting nuked in their jammies, that almost every single thing they've done is made that more likely.